Right.
No, but you have it.
I hope I'm not live. Oh, dang, man. I didn't want to go live. Oh, is that what I want? Needed?
Yeah, that's what that's for this.
Okay. Let's do that. Sorry, if I'm live, I'm embarrassed because here comes Daniel. Yeah, I shouldn't hit that button. I hit the live button.
Can we use this one because it will hold your
Yes, let's do that.
microphone.
So we're just getting set up here, folks. I don't know what I would do with Anne-Marie. I don't know what Syncretism Society would do without Anne-Marie right now.
Oh, okay.
I please want everybody to appreciate what she's doing. She's even just fixing the camera and technological stuff that does everything. Does everything. It's like she's superwoman. All right, let's connect this up. Microphone. The door, and who we got? We got Ryan there. Hi, Ryan, and we've got Anne-Marie. Now,
you guys are live?
Yeah, I hit the record button. I didn't mean to. I was going to make a speech.
It's fine.
All right.
Hey, Anne-Marie, after you're done, can you go pay this bill? I tried to go to the office last time.
All right.
No, I usually pay mine on an app.
Hey, you just go.
All right, guys. So look, what we're doing now is I'm going to be teaching Ryan and Anne-Marie, who are very involved here in the academy in terms of administration and lots of stuff that they're doing, a lot of work behind the scenes. And I want them to be on the teaching side predominantly, rather than on the on Danny's side of the academy, which is the corpus. So what I'm going to do is initiate them into syncretism, and you're going to join. You're also going to be initiated in, let me turn this around, into syncretism by virtue of watching me with my presentation here that I'm going to do on the whiteboard. So I'm going to do 12 lessons, 12 basic lessons on the wave and on syncretism and how to teach the sand-based method. And I will be teaching to 2 students here in my room in my house. So Daniel's.
They're gonna ask, why is this guy walking around with no shirt again? I'm off to the beach. Show him I'm in shorts.
Yes, he's
I'm
not.
going to the beach first. And it's always 100 degrees plus over.
Yeah, this is Mexico, guys. I'm
it's normal. We live on the beach.
Yeah. So it's very, very hot, and we live in a swamp. It's actually a swamp.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
The mangroves right here.
Mangroves.
Yeah. All right, guys, enjoy your session.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so folks, this is lesson 1 in how to teach syncretism. Now, why do you want to learn how to teach syncretism? Isn't it enough just to know it? Well, no, because we are coming into an age where communities are going to want to know the truth. Communities are going to want to know how to explain and understand all things, which is what you're going to be learning today. It's an age of knowing. It's an age where we have a responsibility to get this consciousness out there, to get this knowledge and wisdom out there, and how to teach it. It's very important that you learn how to teach it. I know there are a lot of people out there who love syncretism, love it, watched all the videos, appreciate the value and the content, but there's nothing like being a teacher. So in the days that we're living in now, you can set up with a whiteboard. You just grab yourself a whiteboard, put it in your car, put some posters around town that you're going to be doing a syncretism class, and people can donate if they wish to for you hiring the hall and putting all your time into it, and you're going to be teaching syncretism or the sand-based method. So we're going to start by tackling what the sand-based method means, this acronym that I have invented. And this is the method that will be taught. And this is, you'll be a teacher of the sand-based method, just as someone who goes to Steiner School is a Waldorf dude? What do you call them? A Waldorf salad? I don't know. I watched too much Monty Python. Yeah, the Waldorf schools.
Oh, yeah.
Rudolf Steiner, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so, all right. In this academy, we're going to be sand-based method teachers. And in that, of course, is the science of alchemy, the science of astrology, the science of theology, the three main pillars. So you're going to be a theologian. So we're going to cross disciplines here. You will not be confused. You know, it's like I'm a guitarist and I'm entertaining you, right? And one song is jazz, and the next one's Mississippi Delta Blues, my favourite. You're not going to say, hey, dude, whoa, you've just spoiled my night, man. I was digging the jazz. And you're not going to have any prejudices. You're just going to enjoy all the different flavours. That's what syncretism means. Syncretism simply means that you know how to cross disciplines. And you're not just a master at one thing, which is how schools work. All right, folks, and as well, before we begin, I want to thank everybody for supporting the GoFundMe. Please, if you can help in any way, do support us, because we're making headway here. We're certainly putting something together. The pearl has begun to grow, and your funds and support are just so appreciated and crucial. And so go to Syncretism Society on Instagram and Syncretism Society YouTube channel and subscribe over there. Okay. All right. So what you girls are going to be learning is you're going to be initiated into the science of esoteric wisdom. That's it. So it's not the outer dressing that you get in churches. The literary, as it says in Scripture, the letter of the word kills, but the spirit of the word vivifies. Well, that simply means that if you take the letter of the word, like Santa Claus actually comes down your chimney on the 24th of January in the morning, and you sit there and wait with your camera, it's killing you. That's utter stupidity. It's just a story. So what the scriptures mean by that is that the letter of the word has no sense when you read it literally. It has no meaning, no purpose. Why would God's Son have to come down to earth to die for our sins? And now that's 2,000 years ago, and he still hasn't returned to bring his paradise back. And why are there all these inconsistencies when you measure the Gospels to history? Because they're not history, they're Gospels, they're stories. So you're going to be initiated into that Gospel path of all the enlightened ones. And why they did that was because Gospels are stories, which all stories follow the same pattern. They all start at Aries and they all end in Pisces. Everything does. Every thought wave, every sound wave. It's a waving universe, and everything has to be explained in waves, electromagnetically, and all waves are astrological. When you understand the 12 conditions of 30 degrees along every cycle of 360 degrees, when you understand that there are 12 posts, 12 conditions, 12 different things going on along a wave, and you know how to extrapolate from the wave all of the teachings of every religion, then you have the key. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you the basic fundamental key of understanding all theologies, all philosophies, all schools of thought, of human thought, just through the wave. As Walter Russell said, I'll put this back on me a little bit too. So as Walter Russell said, the secret of the universe lies in the wave. So the secret of the universe lies in the wave. So we are going to be students of the wave, which means we are going to be students of astrology, because they go hand in hand, and we're going to also be students of atomology, what I call atomology. and understanding what atoms are. Atoms are little stars, little sonoluminescent rays of light, redshift, blue shift. And by means of these little lights, these little atoms, everything in the electrical world is manifest in this waving universe. So we have a waving universe, but we also have a pulsating universe. So not only is it waving, it is also pulsing. The universe pulses at a very, very high frequency. It's so fast. I forget the figure. I don't even bother remembering the figure because it's, according to Bruce Cathy, and he's a government insider, where he says that they were working, he was working on projects where they worked only in the counterspatial realms, which means that scientists know that the universe is pulsating so fast that while I'm looking at you or while you're looking at me directly and continuously, it is not continuous, it's pulsating. So those pulses, they are magnetic. And they create torsion fields, which are toruses, which you have a torso, and all of the words that end in tor, creator, actor, distributor, because they come from torsion field, torus fields, and every atom is it's a torus field. So we're going to be really simple. We're going to keep this so simple. So let me turn the camera around, which I should have got a cameraman, but do you think so? I wonder if it's going to work. So a message is coming up so that people can tell us whether they're hearing us. Can you just let us know whether the volume is good? We've got a mic on the camera, but I just need to know that it's audible. We don't want any struggles with this eventually. So SAAM. Oops, I don't do that. Best.
They said it sounds good, just speak louder.
Okay, just speak louder. So this is what you are now being initiated to teach. You will be a teacher of this method. And you can, as I said, go into your communities and give lectures. This will teach people everything from permaculture to white tantra to physics to understanding electromagnetism to understanding all theologies, all philosophies. Wow. There's no end to what syncretism can do and what this model will bring to the world. There is no end. So the model, this here is model, and it must have these three ingredients. So the correct model must be syncretic. Now we have a few words along those lines. Synchronous. Synchronous. Synchronous, and I like this one, Ton, because over here in Mexico, Ton is the sun god, which is, in fact, I'm going to pay my respects to you right now. I already am, because I have the sun here. I have the sun on the cross, which is every human being that has ever incarnated. And now I have tonatio, ton. So something that is synchronous has the same tone. Something that is synchronous has the same time. Something that is syncretic has the same value. Or the same understanding in the mental field. It syncretizes in the mind. And then you have synthetic. Again, all these words. In fact, did I spell that? Syntax should be spelled like that, I think. Never mind. The point is, the model must be all-inclusive. You can't have a model that explains everything that excludes certain fields of teaching or doesn't understand them and cannot relate to them. It's all interrelated. All things are interrelated. That's basically the premise of this school and this way of teaching. You're going to be teaching that all things are interconnected and interrelated. Here we're going to put astrology first. And here we're going to put etymology. Etymology, yeah. So the model has to be syncretic, astrological, and etymological. Now this one's a tricky one because once one realizes that astrology is nothing other than the science of electromagnetism, bye-bye churches who are selling the lie that it's from the devil, bye-bye intellectuals saying that astrology is a pseudoscience, and this will be reinstated as the science, the mother of all sciences. It always has been. It will never be eliminated. It will never, ever, ever be completely stifled. It cannot be, because astrology is simply the explanation of natural phenomena. Pure and simple. It's based on nature. The etymological model, now this is where it gets tricky because we do not subscribe here at Syncretism Society to the nuclear model of the atom, i.e. electron, proton, neutron. I do reclaim those words and use them to explain the atom correctly. More correctly, the neutron is dielectricity, the electron is electricity, and the proton is magnetism. And they all coexist. This is the Trinity, the Holy Trinity. There is no other. You can search for the meaning, the most profound and occult and cryptic meaning of this forever, but you will find that the Holy Trinity is nothing other than black light, dielectricity, white light, magnetism, and electricity, which is two-sexed, hybrid energy, redshift, blueshift. Alright, so here we have the method we're going to use is Bonacci, because I have done 10 years on my channel of showing this model. So if you follow the way I do it, which I'm going to start doing today with the Tropic of Cancer, the Equator, and the Tropic of Capricorn, and then you use the astrological model, then you're doing it the same way as I am, which is very important for all of these things to link up. Ecliptic, sine wave, Taurus, field, I before E except after C. Is that correct?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Alright. Right, this is the method. This is how you teach the correct model. This is the correct model. Right? This is the correct method. Now, the ecliptic, everything you're going to be learning is ecliptic science. So you need to draw up a sine wave which is an ecliptic. So this is the method of teaching astrology and etymology, this sine wave, as you will see. That's the key. That's electromagnetism. There's many ways that it is displayed. It's sometimes like this, sometimes like this. Sometimes it's like this. But this is, it's simply toroidal torsion field energy. That's all that's going on. This is all symbols of electromagnetism. When you understand that everything reduces down to electromagnetism, and you know exactly what electromagnetism is, which you will learn through the course of this these lessons, then you will understand that everything you see is based on electromagnetism. Whether it's in your church, whether it's in your school, whether it's at work, wherever it is, whether it's language, whether it's mathematics, it's all simply based on electromagnetism, as you will see. So the sine wave, well, that's the sine wave. It's actually called sinusoidal wave, and it's actually helical. So this is not two-dimensional, it's actually a helix. So you've got, looking down the barrel, it's like this. Okay? And it's double, and it's probably like the double helix. Every sine wave is described like this. There's an equator, and then there's the positive and the negative. So what we're going to do is we're going to be very, very smart. We're going to go way beyond this simplicity of duality. Positive and negative, boy, girl, hot, cold, bad, good. We're going to go beyond this. And we are going to put 12 different conditions and we're going to explain those conditions with physics. We're going to explain them with any science you like. I can do it theologically, I can do it electrically. And I'll show that the 12 different conditions, which are none other than the signs of the zodiac along every wave, they all have their function. So this is wave function. Everything always begins with Aries, plasma, fire. Fire is plasma. Everything starts with plasma on every wave. This is Aries, and this is Pisces. And you'll find that every single wave that has ever been produced in the universe is astrological. And we're talking about sinusoidal waves here. Now, it's very important to understand that sinusoidal waves are transverse waves. There's two kinds of waves, or two kinds of energy. Radiation and vibration. Tesla said if you want to understand the universe, you need to understand energy, frequency, and vibration. Vibration he put last, because vibration is the illusion. It's the Maya. It's the result of what energy can produce. Energy puts out a frequency, that frequency then vibrates. And vibration is rooted in the word serpent. Serpent, sine wave. In the word víbora in Spanish, vibration, vibración, and víbora. In English we use the word viper, but viper is rooted in vibration. So if you ever have had a good mushroom trip or LSD trip, you would have seen these little serpents. Or ayahuasca, you know what I'm talking about. But you're basically looking at nature from a counterspatial, different realm. Not in body, not in emotional. It's not an emotional way of seeing the universe, nor is it mental. It's just how the universe really is. So, and the important thing is to connect up these, the torus field is the atom. These two, that's why I have, etymology is a very, very important word here. In the dictionary you will see what it means. It's anything pertaining to atoms. But, of course, we have the correct model of the atom, so you don't need to fear that I'm using words like, a lot of people hate words like understand, God, the devil, hell, atoms. because of how they've been conditioned to understand those words. Here we're going beyond the conditioning of these words, friends. We're speaking pure English, which is angelish, Anglish, the language of angels. And astrotheology is the best language. English is the best language for astrotheology. I've done this in many languages, and although it works in Italian, Spanish and Portuguese, which I have done, there is the connections with English is astounding, and I give my hats off to Linda Goodman, who spoke about in her famous book about the stars, that about lexicograms and how English is very, very special when it comes to lexicograms. In other words, words built within a word. English says nothing like English. English holds more power verbally, more power mentally than any other language known to man. That's why it is the language of angels, and it's called that, English. So this is what we're going to learn, folks. This is the model that you'll be now be initiated to teach. So not only am I going to teach you, I'm going to teach you how to teach this. That's the important thing. Otherwise we go round and round circles, and we can bring this model to little children in kindergarten. It's so easy. If only children knew that everything was electromagnetic and waves. So these sinusoidal waves, they are transverse waves, and there is magnetism is not transverse. Magnetism is longitudinal. It's a longitudinal wave. So this would be radiation, and then the transverse wave, which is the resistance, that is electricity, and that's vibration. So here you have radiation, and here you have vibration. Radiation is radial waves. So for instance, if you drop a pebble in a pond, you're going to generate radial waves. Perfect radial waves. Those are longitudinal. They're always growing. That wave never diminishes. It always grows. But as it skims across the top of that pool, what happens now is this waves start to happen like this because of the pressure, you see, through the medium. So, and this happens in the air. That's how you are hearing me, because of the pressure of waves hitting your tympana and hitting your inner ear. And so you are able to hear because of these transverse electrical waves. And there are 7 kinds of electricity which correspond to our 7 senses. The electricity which produces sight is different to the electricity that produces touch. They are different electricities. This is explained in the holy book by Sri Yukteswar, The Holy Science. He says there are 5 electricities, only 5. But I agree with Manu P. Hall that everything is 5 and plus 2, which is 7. Okay, so those 7 electricities, they are evident in the electromagnetic spectrum in the rainbow. So when you see a rainbow, which is in the shape of the curved heavens above us, you will see those 7 colours which correspond to the 7 colours of the chakras, starting with red, then orange, then yellow, then I had it right the first time, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. Now a lot of people say that these are not the real colours, there's another set of colours. There are another set of colours, yes. But these are the electromagnetic colours that really do rule your chakras. Okay? So, and it's very important to understand, people in the world, this is called the electromagnetic spectrum. But where we want to be coming from is to be one step ahead of these quantum physicians and these scientists who really are pseudoscientists. We want to be smarter than them. It's electricity. Magnetism is the white light. Let me just grab. Something to clean all this with. So what were we talking about?
Magnetism. It's a white light.
Okay. So you have a prism. If you're all aware of what a prism is, right? They shoot a ray of white light through here, and then what happens is at the other end you get a refracted 7 colours, which just automatically seem to pronounce themselves and manifest right there from red light. And this always happens. It's always these 7 colours. And they say, and it's redshift, it's nothing other than redshift, blue shift. That's all it is. And then all the colours in between. You'll see that the red has less refraction, but the blue and the violets, they have very sharp refraction as they go through the prism. Same, just if this were violet, so but the red is sort of long waves. But every time white light, magnetism, is projected through like a crystal or glass or a prism or anything like this, you always get these 7 colours. Right? So this is now that phenomena there is the most magical and important and significant phenomena of nature. Nothing trumps this in terms of importance and understanding this. This is where the key and the secret of everything will be understood. When we understand this electromagnetic God, some have it as God because it is omniscient, it's everywhere, it always has the same laws, it never changes, and we're going to see what those are when we look at Ken Wheeler's work on with magnets. We're going to see that torus field and how energy is looping like this. So these are the 7 gods. This is Noah's Ark. Noah is the white light, and the 7 passengers are the passengers of this ark. That's all it is. This is Snow White and her 7 dwarves. Snow White is the white light of magnetism, and these are the 7 helpers. This is Samson, the sun god, who has 7 braids of hair. This is, as they say, of Ra, the 7-rayed god in Egypt. Here in Mexico, we have the birthplace of Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl is the rainbow, the serpent. In Australia, where I come from, it's called the rainbow serpent. Because they all know that God, this dragon, this is the dragon, the feathered dragon, Quetzalcoatl, the creator, Jehovah, the archons, these are all coming from this electromagnetic spectrum. This is Lucifer. In fact, the white light here is Lucifer, the light bearer. See how we're going into theology here? Alright. This is where you really need to pull out all your reserves of knowledge and what you've been taught and try to bring it to the fore. It's very, very important. And here we have Satan. Red shift, blue shift. Satan is always red. the world of Satan. Because through here only can material forms exist. Below this, you'll understand why I'm saying below in a minute. Infra means below, so below that and above ultra, violet, we cannot see and nothing material exists. So only here can materiality or the illusion of time and space appear. So this is electrical and this is magnetism, the force which sustains the electrical world. Magnetism is 10 billion times more powerful than electricity. That's according to all the greats. Faraday, Maxwell, guys like that, Steinmetz, and all of these great geniuses. They calculations come up with about 10 billion times magnetism. Magnetism is radiation. Electricity is vibration. That's the simplest way to put it. The electrical world, the world of El, the god El or Bel, this is the evil world simply because it is material and temporal. And only in that sense should it be conceived as evil. Alright, so the light bearer Lucifer is creating God, the god of this world, Satan, who is the god of this world, the electrical world. So what we're going to learn is that there's a black and white yin and yang, and there is a red and blue one. This one is on the South Korean flag. Okay, you'll see this one. And everybody knows it. This is the monad. This is the first one, the source. Black light is nothing but the source. That's why they always talk about dark matter. And when we did that show with Ken Wheeler proving that the ether existed, well, Ken Wheeler said the scientists admit it because they call it this dark matter, the void, and all of these names, foam, black foam, all these creepy names. But all they're trying to do is they're trying to hide the fact that this black light is the ether. And it's dielectric. And then white light is magnetic. Magnetism means to move in Sanskrit, mag. And it makes magnitude. Ken Wheeler says it makes time. Magnitude, time and space. He says magnetism and magnitude and time and space and God are one and the same thing. So what happens is, this is the monad, and this is the dyad, the demiurge. This is the world of duality, red shift, blue shift. Here we have electricity, El. El is the god here, the false god El. That's why in Spanish we say el hombre, the man, because it's about electricity. This also comes from the word Elohim, which means twisters, because this is torsion fields. This generates torsion fields. Mag means to move. Dielectricity is to rest and motion. So here we have inertia and acceleration, force and motion. Here is where we need to begin to take mental notes, because these are details which you must be the master of. Here is where you want to now concentrate and imagine yourself being the teacher of this. how are you going to explain this black light? You know, how many ways can you explain it? Well, here you have the name for it. It's dielectricity. It comes from both of these are the ether. Both of them. And when these two, as Ken Wheeler said, when these two move against each other, force and motion, inertia and acceleration, the two universal co-eternal principles, they produce a hybrid energy, which is temporal, time-space, redshift, blueshift, transverse wave, the false world of Maya. And you'll see that this is on the South Korean flag, and they tell you clearly it has all the elements of the earth, and then it has you see the I Ching elements, earth, fire, air and water. It's telling you the South Korean flag. It's giving you science. So here is where the beginning of the nomenclature begins when you're going to be teaching syncretism. That you must understand that there are three. There's a trinity. This is the trinity: dielectricity, black light; magnetism, white light; electricity, redshift, blueshift. And that's it. This is nagual. This is tonal. Interesting. Again, tone. It's all about sound. Tonal. Tonal, nagual. Nagual. When I lived in Masunte, every day I would see out in the ocean the black rock right next to the white rock. And the people know why those stones are there, because that's the southernmost point of Mexico, and they call that black nagual and the white tonal. That's where you get the word negate, negro, nigger, naga. What's a naga? Well, a naga is a master of the black light. He knows about this, the light of darkness. Not only does it denote that people are black of sin, but it also denotes that they have the mastery of this science, of the true science of the ether. They tend to be less involved with this world. The nagas. Jesus was called a naga. This is also the word for serpent. This is the serpent in the Garden of Eden. There it is, there's the serpent, the letter S. S is 19, which equals 1. This is the 1. That S in the middle there is the serpent in the Garden of Eden. And this is the flat earth as well. We have the sun and the moon. And everything works along this system. A naga is a serpent teacher. As I said, this is Quetzalcoatl, the feathered rainbow. So we're going to be learning about this. This is legends made on this. As I said, Noah, his ark, and the 7 who were on his ark. Many, I can't think right now, but many of the legends that come from this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to proceed with the sine wave. And we're going to learn we're going to learn now how to build, as a Freemason, or rather a Mason builds a house. We're going to make the foundations to build the citadel of heaven, so that we can understand all things. From this citadel you will understand astrology, electromagnetics, alchemy, all things will be in the capacity capacitance of your consciousness to comprehend fully. And you will be freed of ignorance, and you will know and have the keys to understanding all things. Simply from what you're about to learn in a minute through the sine wave. Now, if I may have this camera, please, I'm going to show folks what we're going to get to. Girls, you might want to join me here and have a look at what I'm doing here. All right, so ultimately, this is called Astro Theme. Anyone can go to Astro Theme. Ultimately, what I've done here is I've put this at morning time in Cancun. All right, so the sun, it was a full moon, so you can see here's the sun rising in the east in the ascendant, and there's the full moon in Aquarius. And what I've done this deliberately so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, this is the east, this is the morning, 6 o'clock. Let me see what time it was. 7:15. Okay, so the sun rose at 7:15 this morning. Now, and the moon descended around that time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go forward 1 hour. 1 hour, and we're going to show you that if you're standing on the earth, you're standing on a line here which goes from the ascendant to the descendant. So let me just get a better astrological. Oh, okay. What did I do wrong?
It just wasn't showing the screen.
Oh, it wasn't showing the screen, yeah. Okay, astrological chart. Let's see some images. I want to get a better image for everybody to... Can you hold that for a bit, please? I'm very sorry about this. But these glasses have just got dirty. All right, here's a good one. This is a different one. Here, what you can see is what we're going to get. What we're going to draw up is this. Ultimately, we're going to come to this, the astrological chart. Okay, this is nothing but a 24-hour clock going clockwise, and it is a yearly calendar going counterclockwise. So all the signs. Aries is the first sign. Taurus is the second. They're going counterclockwise. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to make two graphs. I'm going to make the yearly calendar going counterclockwise, and all the planets inside here, they're all traveling this way along the year. They're going through the signs, but every day they are going over the flat Earth, and that's the flat Earth here. This line is called the line of the Earth, from the ascendant to the descendant. So what I'm going to show you is how this works. How you see in astrology. So there's the sun ascending. I'm going to go forward an hour and watch where the sun moves to. Okay. Why did it do that to me? I had it set up. Dang. Let's go back to Cancun. Is Anne-Marie okay?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Cancun. Let's go 7:15 in the morning. All right, back to that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go forward an hour. You can go up here and press 1 hour option. And I'm going to go forward. Now you watch where the sun is. So remember, you're standing on this line. It's called the line of the Earth. This, the MC, this is south. Now think about it. Why would that be south? The IC, which is opposite down here, the IC, that is north. Because when you're standing on the flat earth, right, and you face south, you see the ecliptic. What you're seeing is this. Okay, so let's go forward an hour. I just want to hold it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Oops. Alright, so look where the sun has moved. It's moved 15 degrees, folks. Let's go, and it's now 8:15. Let's go forward another hour. This is what you're watching every day. This is called right ascension of meridian. So you can see that here we have a 24-hour military clock. The MC is midday, the IC opposite is midnight, the AC is 6 a.m, and the DC opposite in the west where everything descends, that's about 6 p.m. So let's go another hour forward. It's very important that you see this happening. In the morning we see this every day. I get up around 9 o'clock in the morning, the sun is about here, and then I come in for breakfast, the sun is around about here, and it starts getting very, very hot. Let's go another hour forward. We're about, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. There you go. There's the sun very, very high now. And you see it's going in the houses. There's the 12th house, 11th house. So as it goes around 24 hours every day, right, it goes backward through the houses. We're going to see and understand how all of this works. Another hour forward. See how the sun just keeps incrementing every hour. Now we're at midday. There you go, 1 o'clock, the sun hits the MC. So this is a typical day. I'm just going to keep going forward. There's the sun every hour. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and there it is, 8:15 tonight here in Mexico. The sun will set at 8:15. So what you're seeing, right, is that circle is a 24-hour clock, but it is also a calendar of a year going in the opposite direction. So let's now explain all that. So I'll need a camera person. Thank you. So, what I normally do in my presentations is you can use any map. You can use the globe, Earth. You can use the azimuthal equidistant flat Earth. You can use the transverse Mercator universal projection, which is the one I use the most. So I'm going to use that one today. It's the rectangular map of the Earth. And so let's imagine that this is the Earth and it's a rectangle. Okay, so they've got Australia down here, they've got North America over here, and Africa's over here. Okay, so here's the equator. And always you'll find the Tropic of Cancer is above the equator. In fact, I think I might want to make that a bit higher. And then below is the Tropic of Capricorn. So, normally, on most maps, what they have is, they denote the ecliptic by the sun starting at the equator and going up to the Tropic of Cancer, and then down to the tropic. Oops, I should have done that a little bit more over that way. Let's do it over there a bit more. So what they do is they have the sun starting here on March the 21st, goes up to the solstice, which we just had June the 21st, last month. Then it goes down to September 21st, the autumnal equinox, and it goes down to the 21st of December, the solstice, and then it goes up to back to March the 21st, and that is a year. And you'll see this in many, many ancient maps. You'll see how they do this. They show that on a transverse Mercator map, they have this projected. Always the Tropic of Cancer is here. Tropic of Capricorn is below, and the equator is always in the middle of the map. And they always show, I remember when I was a boy, I had a globe of the Earth, and it had the equator, it had the ecliptic. It had this ecliptic on it. So you'd turn it around and you'd see the sine wave going up and down, as you spin the globe. So, now what I do though is, because I'm going to make the 24-hour clock, I make that starting point over here. I start everything over here, and there's a good reason to do that. Okay, so let's start the sine wave like this now, and we're going to go that way. It doesn't matter. But what you have now is you have if this is March the 21st, the equinox, this will be June the 21st. This will be September 23rd, and here is December 21st. Okay? This is what's called, this is the equinoxes, where the sun, when it reaches the 20th of March, or the 21st of March, what happens is, it's in between its in the two tropics. It's equal. It's called equinox. Equal night, equal day. So these are holy days. Always been very, very holy. This day in the Judaic system is called Judgment Day, because this is the fall, the autumn, and the sun is falling and it gets judged in Libra, which is this sign here, Libra. So, and this one here, this is where the Christians in Aries, they have the resurrection of the sun. It's called the Passover, or Easter, where Jesus resurrects. Well, of course, because when the sun goes through this flood of Noah, when it goes down to winter, this is all detrimental for the sun. This is not good. This is winter. You can't grow your beautiful plants. So Aries is always that moment in the year where you have your spring clean. This is spring, summer, winter. Autumn and winter. Right? Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age. So the mornings, now, what I showed you before on the astrological wheel is that this also corresponds in the day to 6 a.m, 12 a.m, p.m, 6 p.m, and 12 a.m. So, morning, afternoon, evening, night, spring, summer, autumn, winter. And the amazing thing about that astrological wheel is that it brings the 2 years together. All you have to do is remember to have the signs in this direction, not that direction, number one, and to remember that everything is turning clockwise daily over the flat Earth, which is this. This is the geocentric. This is where the Earth is in astrology. That's why you'll never see you'll never see the symbol for the Earth. You will never see that along the ecliptic. So if you come over here, in this chart here, Well, there's Pluto, there's Neptune, there's the Moon, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Neptune, Sun, Jupiter, North Node, Chiron, Saturn. Where's the Earth? Where is the Earth? See, if the Earth were moving, it would be moving in conjunction with these planets, which is not happening. We don't factor in any movement of the Earth when it comes to these planets going around the Sun, as they do. They are all controlled by the Sun. So in a sense, it is a heliocentric system because all the planets are caught in the hyperbola of the Sun. But they are all rotating over the flat stationary Earth, which is this line here, every day. That's why the MC is the south and the IC is the north, because you won't see this. You won't see the sun rising and setting if you're facing north. Let's say you're in Boston or Toronto, Canada, right? For instance, you cannot. You'll miss everything. If you're looking north over here, you'll never ever see the sun with your eyes. You must face everything. All the action is south. That's why you stand on this line here, and you look south to the MC, and you'll see the sun, as I showed you before. This is the morning, this is the afternoon, this is the evening, and this is the night. Now, so that's why what you have here is an astrological chart. Over here you have the AC, and over here you have the DC. Let me put that differently. Now I want to do this as 2 hours. I don't want to go over. How we going? We've got 1 more hour. Okay, so these are going to be 2-hour lessons. I wonder whether we should be doing questions. Are you going to maybe leave 20 minutes for questions? What do you think? Are you getting any good questions? But just pay attention to that and see if it's a good idea. Maybe not. So these lessons will be 2 hours, folks. I don't want to do more than that. But if you're going to be serious, you've got to devote 2 hours a week at least. So this is going to be vital for everyone. Even all the old syncretists who have known this for a long time. Even you guys are going to be extremely blessed because you'll remember a lot of things that you've forgotten. And plus my teaching style has improved, so it should help. Alright, so here we have the MC and here we have the IC. Okay, so basically everything from here to here is AM and everything from here to here is PM. Okay? Anti-meridian, this is the meridian, by the way. So everything anti, before the meridian, this is all AM in an individual's chart. So if you're doing someone's chart and they've got all their planets are on this side, like Mick Jagger for instance, he's got all of his planets on this side, he's got no planets on 180 degrees of arc, they're all over here. Well, see, because this is the personal self-motivated side, this is where the sun rises in the morning, every morning. This is this is like the force of the East coming toward you. These people, they're on a mission, man. They're going to leave their mold on the world. Here is selfishness, self-motivation. People who have a lot of here, these are more service people. They mold in with the world, and they're looking out more for other people's interests, and are motivated more by caring for others than themselves and their desires and their passions. Nothing wrong with either. But that's how it works with astrology. When you understand this wave, when you understand that this is from midnight to midday, this is a waxing period for the sun during the day. This is a very vital part of the day. Then everything starts to fall and wane and the night time comes. And the same is with the year. Spring brings all the lush green and the food in Leo and Virgo, and then everything dies in the winter. So this is exactly what an astrological chart is. The signs, though, on the other hand, even though I'm going to finish this off with the signs going in the other way, And I will explain why I'm going to do that in a minute. I think it's very important to first understand this as it is and as I'm doing them. So this is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Now, what we are soon going to learn in these lessons is that every single wave does this. Whether it's the year, whether it's the day, whether it's an hour, a minute, a second, a breath, a movie, whatever it is, it all has these conditions. Every wave is conditioned by 12 separate conditions for it to manifest. It can't just be one thing, otherwise waves would not replicate. They would not be creative. These 12 conditions have to exist along every wave. And how they exist is they are frequencies. See, there are 3 different kinds of signs. There's cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable. And then there are 4 elements: fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. So mixing the modalities with the 4 elements, you see there's an overlap. You've got 4 elements. So now water hasn't got its own modality. It hasn't got a 4th modality. It has to go back to cardinal. So you see what happens is you've got all the cardinal points are all like a swastika. If I were to make them prominent, and this line here prominent, you would see a swastika, wouldn't you? So because cardinal means door, and every time the sun hits one of these 4 points, these are holy days. A holy portal is opened, and spring begins here every year. That's why there's so much celebration with Easter and the Passover with the Jews, because the sun has passed over from its cold, wintry days into the paradise of Eden. And so what you have now is you've got a mixture of the modalities, and they've made 12 different kinds. So here you have cardinal fire, which never repeats, fixed earth, mutable air, cardinal water, fixed fire, mutable earth, cardinal air. Sorry, did I say that should be cardinal water? I should have said cardinal water, fixed fire, mutable earth, cardinal air, fixed water, mutable fire, cardinal earth, fixed air, mutable water. Now these, so cardinals are opening energy. They are portals. So here is where spring begins. Fixed energies, they are more stable. They are more representative of their element than any other modality, the fixed. So this is where the spring is in the middle. This is the middle. So you've got the cross-quarter days that go through here, and they make the 8-spoke wheel. They go right through Taurus, right through Scorpio. Here is Halloween, the 1st of November. Here is the 1st of May. in this cross quarter day here. And then you've got 1st of August and 1st of February. So what you'll see the upright static cross, and then you'll see this green one, the cross quarter days, dynamic cross, and that makes the 8-spoke wheel. So you see how cardinal, fixed and mutable, what they mean is birth, growth, decay. So spring begins, it grows here, then it decays, and spring becomes something else. It comes into summer. So the mutable signs are always there, mutating. And every wave does this. Every wave has 4 quarters, like a swastika. Every wave has 4 cardinal points. And within those points, as the energy expresses itself, the first is the beginning creative spurt of energy. Then it fixates, it stabilizes, and then it changes. So it's like birth, growth, decay, birth, growth, death. These destroy the seasons, these mutable signs. And that's how waves work. You will see it when you watch the year, you will see it when you watch the day. You will see how these 4 cardinal points make important synchronous events to take place in people's lives, how they all, have, meet you at midnight, meet you at sunset, meet you at sunrise, meet you at midday. It's always, those are the 4, fixed cardinal points that give definition to the day, So, that looks rather messy right now, and no apologies, because all of that information had to fit in there. But when you look at an astrological chart, you're actually looking at the secret of the sine wave and how everything works. So this is the science of the ecliptic. This is the method. The method to teach this is like this. As you will see, we're going to be doing tens and tens and tens of these. And we're going to go around and we're going to show how certain dates along the ecliptic really show in every culture how they understood these very important energies of the year and how the year works. So let's start afresh. How's your concentration going? Good? Yeah? Mm-hmm. All right. So what I want to do now is spend some time on the etymological model based on the torus field. Okay, so every torus field, every atom has a plane of inertia and then it also has, this will be called the point of, well, you could call it counter space, transcendence, but this is the all-seeing eye. This is the bullseye. This is everywhere. This is where white light begins its journey in making waves. This is the point. Then what you will see is you'll see a hyperbola. an hourglass like this. Now I'm going to put the right colours in here. Blue, and that's getting very murky blue because I'm mixing my colours here. And then a way, way bigger red at the bottom. The blue will always be smaller because blue light, remember, is a higher frequency than red. Red is low frequency. So the difference between the ratio here is 1.618, the phi ratio. Phi, sometimes in English. So that's the Greek. Phi. The golden section. So in other words, this will be 1 and this will be 1.618. It's not double, but it's the difference in the ratio. Then what happens is these fields come around on each other. And you have your plane of inertia. And that is what an atom is. So this plane of inertia would be what they consider to be the neutron. And the proton is nothing other than redshift, right turning, redshift radiating, and left turning, blue shift gravitation. Not gravity, which is a Newtonian Jesuit theory. Gravitation. Thank you, Walter Russell. Radiation. Now, if you have your torso, this will be your heart. Heart and earth are anagrams of each other. This has 12 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 petals. This is Jesus Christ, the heart chakra, with its 12 disciples, 12 discs. And your throat will be blue, and your bottom chakra. So what's happening is energy is coming into your fontanelle, and it's left turning, gravitating. And it's called convergent, centripetal. So convergent, this is convergent because it's compressing. It's being squeezed, the light is being squeezed back into this point, this magical point that no one understands. Counter space. As Eric Dollard says, if we don't understand counter space, we can't understand reality. You have to come to terms with counter space, and you must give time and contemplation to this phenomena, because all the information is here. If this were your body, this would be your head here. You have your head up here, and you have your legs down here, and this would be your torso. Torso is Taurus. But here we want to concentrate on something that's very important. Radiation, by the way, is divergent. Centrifugal. So it is diverging and it's centrifugal. It's escaping. It's radiating. So it's cooling down as it radiates. And this heats up as it gravitates. Gravitation makes heat. Radiation makes cold. It's the war between hot and cold. This is Satan, red, and this is Jesus. Or whatever. This is Ometel, the god of duality. It's all in the atom. It's all in the torus field. And as the Egyptians said, man is the measure of the universe. This is the man. See, the man, this looks like an apple. You have this, the two, yeah? This is an apple. Well, manzana in Spanish has the word man in it because the apple is the man. This is the core, corazón. Every apple has a core, isn't it? Alright? Well, this is a corazón. Corazón, the core. This happens in many languages, even in French. Pomme is apple, and homme is man, with an H. Homme, it's silent. So you see pomme and homme. It's probably where they got the name for pommies, right? The pommies. Do you use that? Oh, in Australia we call English people pommies. Yeah. So, man gives you the human, the apple. These are the golden apples of creation. These are also the golden eggs. When you look at the egg, when you began your journey in this realm, you were golden. I'm going to show some clips on that eventually as we go through this. So, but what I want to concentrate on today is the fact that we have to concentrate on the words here, because this is the source of all words. Tor that's the torus field, right? And that's the feminine space-time. And you could consider that the uterus, right? The uterus, and the ball, and the hyperbola bowl. This is bowl, the bullseye, the bull. It's the torus and the bull. This also comes to phallic, the word phallic. So this is the male phallic, and this is the uterus. And this is how male and female in every atom express themselves. This pillar here in the middle, that's the male. And this time space, this is the feminine. So we're going to concentrate on three words, the most important words that you will ever learn. And they are atom, I'm going to put bull instead of bowl, and I'll make that blue, and I'm going to make tor red. Now from these words, believe it or not, all words in every language that have ever existed come from those three words. In English we have many words ending in bull, you know, capable, reliable, responsible, table, stable, capable, creator, actor, distributor, resistor. Tor and bull turn up at the end of pretty much 50% of, in English, words, and many other languages as well. In Spanish, it's not bull, it's ble. So responsable, instead of responsible, we say responsable. But it's still blue. It's still a blue word. It's what I call blue shift words. Bull is blue. So in Spanish it will be responsable, capable. Oh no, that's not even a word. Capable. But also, and here they'll have door. For instance, matador, creador, actor. Actor is actor, but creator is creador, because T and D are interchangeable. So what we're going to learn in this journey, this is a marvellous journey we're going to go on. It's absolutely marvellous. You'll be enriched and rewarded so much by seeing how these three words have created every single word that exists. This is the mother of all words, Atum. Atum is also time. God is time. Atum is also Adam, because all the vowels are interchangeable, and M and N are interchangeable. T and D is changeable, M and N interchangeable. It's very, very important to understand this, because here we have the atom as well. We are all children of atom because we all have anatomies. It's not a literal, and I'm going to show that. You know, people struggle when they hear something so new, so radical, so unconventional. But if you've got billions and billions of proofs that never end to prove that, your hypothesis, well then it has to be correct. So we're going to see how this Adam is one of the most crucial words in every language. And then blue shift and red shift. So Adam basically means white and black light. And then the hyperbola. See, so this hourglass in the middle of that itself tells you that we're talking about the realm of time. Otherwise, what's the hyperbola doing in there? So hyperbola bowl is the key word there, bowl. See, in Spanish you have árbol, and that's the tree. This is the earth, the heart. Earth. It's the heart of the system, the flat earth. That's what the famous Hebrew scholar Santos teaches when he opens his apple. He opens his apple. In fact, let's just show this to people. Dance of the Hebrew letters. Alphabet. Let's go to part 1.
Shaped sections, and so there'd be 4 fingers in each one, the thumb in the middle. There'd be 12 fingers around the perimeter, and thus you have 12 tribes around the seed center, the star, the tabernacle, if you'd like. In other traditions, there are 12 apostles, there are 12 knights around the round table, there are 12 imams of Shia Islam, there are 12 houses to the zodiac. There are a whole number of 12 around 1 forms. And in the middle, of course, if we were to open it, this disc, I don't know if you can see this very well, but the disc is the flat earth. This is where, I'll put it inside, maybe you can see the hand in there. You put the hand inside, this disc becomes the earth, there's the sun, this is the heavens, the dome. And what we've got in our model, again, is a model hand. Now, why a model?
Hand. See, from that apple, he got 4 of these. 3 of them. You can see the outline of the 3. 1, 2, 3, and they make, with the 4 fingers, they make the 12 signs of the zodiac. And he opened it up and showed that this apple is actually the human. It's the same model. We have an apple core, corazon, and everything is apples. Right? That's why the apple is the fruit that, Adam's apple, the fruit that Eve ate. It's because it represents the apple shape that your body is in. You already are an apple. I just can't see that apple. But you're walking around in a big apple. Okay? So, and it's a tree. And so in your spinal column, you have what's called here a lumbar. Right? Now, you know what lumbar is, don't you?
Tree.
Yeah, it means tree. Right? So, Buddha sitting under a tree means your body sitting under your apple tree, your Tori. Tree and Taurus are the same word, Tori. So you become enlightened when you sit with your lumbar nice and straight under a tree like Buddha, and then all of a sudden all the pennies drop and you start waking up. That's what Buddha means. It means the body. See, so all of that science is in this, and how the idea is how to understand how to get that energy going up so that you can ascend into higher consciousness of existence where you don't depend on material matter. You can be material if you like, but you can have the power to exit and be spiritual, dematerialize. We've lost that power, but it was easy before the Jesuits destroyed all this science. So, but this bowl and B and P are interchangeable. So this becomes the word for polarity. So this is a pole, and it's polarity. And it's also pulse. Pulse. This is where the pulse comes from, the bull's eye. Arbor. Because R and L are interchangeable, in Spanish, arbol is tree, and this is the tree. This hourglass representing time, and then the torus field represents space. This is how time and space is made. But arbor is related to labour. Labour. You see, that's why we are labouring. With these bodies, we are labouring because we have a hyperbola. We are hyperbolas. When you speak in hyperbole, you are exaggerating. You're saying something that's hyped up, right? And bowl already means hyper. It's the same meaning. Bowl means to thrust, to make polarity, to make a pulse. And then you get the word pure out of it as well, which is fire. Because L and R and L are the two most important interchangeables of all interchangeables. So this is purity. It's also plasma. Plasma. Plasma comes from here. The ether is beyond here. There's only two energies to understand. Ether and plasma. And plasma is born of ether. So, purity, the word power, two powers. bowl also becomes bolts of electricity, because that's, or volts. B and V are interchangeable. In German, Volk is people, but we say folk. And this is how people are made. They're apples. Apples, the same word as people. Apples and peoples. Pom and om. Manzana and man. Woman. This is the womb of the man. This is the woman. This is the mother. But always man. And remember, the hand is also man. Because although it represents apple, it also represents the hand around the apple, as Stanton calls it. And we are defined by our man, our hand. We are defined by our hands. This is how we manipulate, maneuver, manage, manifest. How do you manifest something? With your hands, with your man, with your human abilities. It's about the hand and the relationship that we have, that creativity between the hand and the mind, because man is also mind, mana, in the Hindu system. So it always goes back to the hand and the mind, the two things which always define humans and make us special. So you see, Volk goes back to volts, and who always has the volts in his hands? It's Jupiter, because Jupiter is the Taurus field. See, his father Saturn and mother Rhea, that's time and space. Time is nothing, it doesn't exist. Neither does space. They don't have any properties, so they can't act on anything. Like your shadow can't pick up and go off and do the shopping for you, because you can't reify a shadow. It's a shadow. So time is like that. It's sterile. Space is sterile. Space can't do anything. What does space do? It doesn't do anything. And so that's why when Jupiter was born, Jupiter became the Taurus field. Jupiter. And he also is Thor. Or King Arthur. And how many knights did King Arthur have? 12 in his round table. Right? Well, that Thor is Jupiter, and Jupiter Zeus is shortened to Jesus. So they've preserved the name of Jupiter, or Zeus, that's Latin, that's Greek. But what they did was they shortened it. They called him Jupiter Zeus. Jesus. And since thousands, for so long, we've just been saying Jesus. But all we're referring to is Jupiter. And all we're referring to is the Taurus field. Because Jupiter is the god which has the power to make form. Because his father Saturn is time. He can't make form. He can't do anything. And his mother Rhea, area, space, she can't do anything either. So in effect, Thor is the god, is always King Arthur, is always the ruler of his 12 knights. I've got so many places to go to with this, but I really just want to. Can we see if there's any questions? We've got about 20 minutes. All right.
I took some photos.
All right. Let's hit some questions then, folks.
Someone said, Santos, why does the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn not change through precession? I don't know if they could hear
Yes.
the question though.
Okay.
Why does the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn not change through precession?
Wonderful question. I'm so glad you asked. I've been seeing this in so many videos lately where people are saying that everything's shifted, everything's wrong, we should have the Tropic of Pisces and the Tropic of Virgo now and blah blah blah. No. Big mistake. The Tropic of Cancer will always be where it is. It will never move. It never has moved, and it doesn't need to move. Even though precession has caused the stars behind the ecliptic to move, tropical astrology is based on the ecliptic. So what does that mean? Well, when we go back to our calendar, when we go back to our astrological calendar, we'll find that there are 4 cardinal points along every year. So, we're going to do this again. So we're going to do Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, and then we're going to do this circle. There's the solstices. That's the Tropic of Cancer up there. Why does that not move? Well, because every year on the 21st of March, Aries begins on the 21st of March, 0 degrees. On the 22nd, it'll be here. 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30, 31. There are 31 days in March. A third of March will have passed. That's the first decan. And then there's another decan. 1st of April, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. That's the middle decan of Aries. I was born on the 24th, I was born right here. That's where my sun is, 3 degrees Aries on the 24th of March. Then there's another 10 degrees in 10 days. This never moves. This is tropical and it's fixed. It never moves. Even though every March the 21st, when you go out in the morning at 6 o'clock to see what star is coming up at the equinox, well, for the last 2,000 years it's been Pisces. It hasn't been Aries. It's shifted. The stars are precessing. It's like a wheel, a bike wheel. When you see someone riding down the road and you see the wheels actually going backwards, the spokes going back, looks like the wheels, they're going backwards, but they're actually going forward. That's called precession. And when you spin a top, you've got these children's toys, and you push it, and spin it, right? It spins really, really fast. When it slows down, what happens? It starts wobbling in the other direction. So if it was spinning this way really, really fast, as it slows down, it starts wobbling in the opposite direction. So within every atom, within every torus field, there is a thing called electromagnetic precession. So the field is precessing. It has to precess. So what we're seeing in our big torus field solar system is we're seeing that the stars are precessing, and we think now that the Tropic of Cancer has to change, astrology's changed. No, it hasn't. Nothing's changed. This is fixed. Aries will always, always, always be from the 21st of March to the 20th of April. Always. This will never change. It never has. It never will. Doesn't matter about the stars precessing back here. The zodiac signs are not in the sky. Or rather, should I say, are not in the constellations. They are on the ecliptic. Every sign has 30 degrees on the ecliptic. If you look up at the stars, you'll see Virgo is about 50 degrees of ecliptic. You'll see Leo is about 45 degrees. Aries is about 23 degrees. They're not all even. It's not about the stars. It's not about where they are precessing and how come they've shifted in relation to this. It doesn't matter that they've shifted because the energies still stay the same. I mean, for thousands of years, this has been Aries. I was born here and I've got all the Aryan features. There is no mistake about it. I am Aries through and through and through and through and through. I cannot be a Pisces, what they're saying, that the sun is around out here now, or just here entering into Aquarius. So this is Aquarius, this is Pisces, and this is Aries. So precession means it goes backwards. It's not going forwards, it's precessing, it's going backwards. So we went through this age, the age of Aries, then we've been in the age of Pisces for 2,000 years. Now they say that Aquarius is now popping its head up at 6 a.m. in the morning on the 21st of March. Well, true, that's fine, but it doesn't alter tropical astrology. Tropical astrology is the underlying system of all astrology. So, good question.
All right, another one. Can the astrological chart explain the moon phases?
Absolutely. So let's have a look at one. So, we looked at this before. We brought the sun from sunrise over here to sunset. So let me go back and do that again. Watch the moon and watch the sun. Just watch these two as I go backwards now, an hour each time. Right? So you're getting the point. I'm going backwards now. I'm bringing the day in reverse. Why isn't it not? Oh, 1 minute. No wonder. Let me do an hour. Let's go backward. Let's keep going. Alright, backward. Right, so this is the sun going backward every hour. Alright? Now, look where the moon is. The moon is below. So that's the phase of the moon. It's a full moon. Right? But if I go forward, say, 7 days, let's see where the moon is. Well, it's quarter moon now. See where in relation to the sun? There's the sun. It was over here with Saturn before. Now in 7 days, it's gone over to quarter moon. So in 7 days' time, we'll have a quarter moon. The moon will be in Taurus. Alright, so you see, it does explain the phases. This is now a waning moon. The moon is waning. In 7 more days, it'll be over here with the sun, and then it'll be a new moon. Let's have a look at that. Forward 7 days. There you go. There's the moon. Very, very close. Let's go 1 day forward. And there you go. That's the new moon. When's that? On the 8th of August. So you can just do this yourself. On the 8th of August will be a full moon in New York at 11 a.m. midday. New moon. Now let's go forward another 7. Let's go forward another 7 days, and we'll see the new moon will be now waxing. Now here is the moon waxing. When the moon is, because remember all the planets, they're going clockwise, counterclockwise, yearly. The sun's going this way, Now it's in Leo, right? Well, actually, this is way in Leo, the 15th of August. Right, the next sign it's going to enter is Virgo. So you can see not only the sun, but all the planets are going this way along the ecliptic. So if the moon is on that side of the sun, you can tell it's waning. Right? It's called on the left. The moon is on every planet that is on the left is on this side. But if the moon were over here, on this side, it's to the right of the sun. And she would be waning. So here you have a waxing moon. Let's go forward another week. And there you go. And there's the full moon again. And that will be on the 22nd of August. So yes, it does explain the phases.
Okay, another question that's been submitted multiple times is, where did you get that magnetism is the white light and dielectricity as the black light? Is there a book that tells this?
Ken Wheeler, in his YouTube channel Theoria Apophasis, Ken Wheeler teaches this, and he teaches it with science in his laboratory there with magnets and magnetic viewing films. So that's Ken Wheeler at Theoria Apophasis. That may actually be a T, I forget. Let me just check. Yeah, I've got it correct.
Okay.
So Ken Wheeler teaches that white light is magnetic, it is centrifugal, divergent. Black light is dielectric, it is centripetal, convergent. So there's only two principles happening all the time. Like Walter Russell said, it's like a pump. It's expanding, and then it's compressing. And every single cycle or wave does this. But remember, we're talking about electrical waves. Electricity is material, magnetism is spiritual. Thank you, John Mawelsky. Another great guy, John Mawelsky. Magnetricity. Please be around still. Yes, is that him, John Mawelsky? Magnetricity. I don't know where you're going to find it. Is that John Mawelsky? Magnetricity. Anyway, I urge you, try and get that interview of John Mawelsky about magnetricity. Oh my God, it's just amazing. He teaches that magnetism is spiritual and electricity is physical. But anyway, that's another guy that I put my hats off to. Hat off to.
Okay. Another question, how does daylight savings time affect the accuracy of our natal charts?
It does. You need to know whether you were born under a change date so that you can correct that. You need to correct it. Daylight saving is totally against astrology. Probably something deliberate as well.
Okay. This one says, by the way, I know you're supposed to fast when the moon is in your sun sign. How about when the moon is in your moon sign?
There's no requirement to, but you can experiment with that. Fasting is really down to an art for some people. They either go by the moon or they go by their gut feeling or different various cycles. Hare Krishnas, they do every 11th day after the new moon and every 11th day after the full moon. That's their fasting day. They call that Ekadashi fasting. And it also turns out to be 4 days before the new moon, 4 days before the full moon. So work it out either way, 11 days after or 4 days before. But they call that Ekadashi. I used to do that. But, and I also for many years did the Jewish one, where I would fast on the day of the new moon, the universal new moon, and then every 7th day after that. And I found that to be really, really good. But these days now, I'm not doing any of those fastings, because I struggle to keep weight on. I overexert myself. I don't save my energy and reserves. I'm always burning myself out at the end of the day, whether it's doing research, whether it's helping other people, whatever it is. I'm not really good at conserving energy. I expend all the energy I get every day. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've been doing it because I'm in serious service mode. So I found that fasting wasn't helping me to keep the weight up. So what I'm doing now is intermittent fasting, which is 16 hours every day.
Your phone just went on 20% battery, so do you want to have one more question or
one
close
more
it
question.
off?
Yeah, one more question.
Okay. So this says ATGC is the DNA code. Any correlation? And then they say Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. ATCE equals DNA? Question.
Yeah. So I'll be showing videos soon that I'm preparing with my niece about how the DNA is all astrological. There are 4, so you've got your 4 adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. They happen to correspond with Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. But not only that, is that there's another set of 12 combinations in the DNA. DNA is also Dan, which is Adam, the man. And in Japanese, Dansei means man, Dan, and then and, you've also got the word and, which gives you hand, remember, but it also gives you Andrew, which is what? The man. Andros. And it's very important to understand this. DNA, Dan, and Andros is man. Alright, so you see how Adam is just talking about DNA. When a rib was taken from Adam to make Eve, as though women were now inferior because they were made from the spare part of man. It's just so ludicrous to think that this was literal. It's talking about how an atom gives an electron to change an element. So everything's hydrogen ultimately. Gold is hydrogen, silver is hydrogen, they're all different compounds of hydrogen. So, but how does that happen? How does hydrogen get to helium, get to carbon, get to nitrogen? Well, it does that by giving a rib. A rib is found in DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid. So what you've got in DNA is you've got the word ribbon. Rib. So when Dan or Adam gave a rib his DNA. What happened? What it's saying is that man and woman have the same DNA, the same ribs, elements. It's all talking about elements. So that's the only rib that was given. But in here you will find the presentation that I've prepared dealing with DNA and all of its parts, ribosomes and chromosomes and everything. It's all astrological. The double helix, it's all astrological. Got another one?
There was one more. Could Mr. Bonacci please elaborate on Tre Kronor, aka Three Crowns? What the three crowns stand for, what they mean, and so on. Holy Trinity, electric, dielectric, and magnetism, body, mind, spirit.
Yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same. Every single Trinity that you know, whether it's the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, or the Father and the Mother and the Son, it all goes back to the three field modalities of dielectricity, magnetism, and electricity. They are the only things that you can talk about. There's nothing else you can talk about. Whenever you're speaking about one of those three things. Whatever you say, whatever you do, whatever you think, you're always bumping into those three. Those three dominate every single sphere of activity of human thinking or doing. Nothing else is happening. There is only electromagnetism. And that's why astrology is so important, because astrology helps people. It opens up portals in their minds. It opens up ways, creative ways for them to think and see what is really going on. For instance, with me, when I discovered that I could pick someone's sign because of knowing the features of every sign, I felt so empowered. I've done it so many times. You're a Taurian, and the person, yeah, how did you know? I just know it. I sensed it. Either I sensed the earth in them, or I sensed the fixability in them, or I saw the Venusian signs coming through their face, you know, to do with the eyes and the shape of their face, like a square shape that the bull has. You just see the bovine features. You just see that bovine archetype. Now this only happens with tropical astrology. It doesn't happen with sidereal astrology. You know, I've had sidereal astrology say to me, I remember one guy said to me, I'm Libran. And I looked at him and I said, no, guarantee you 100% you're Scorpio. You're a Scorpio. I can see it. You're not a Libran. He says, no, I'm Libran. And I think the date was October 2nd or something like that. November the 2nd. And he thought he was a Libra, but November 2nd is Scorpio in tropical, and you can see it in the physiology of the individual. So I've done entire presentations on this, showing how you can tell people's signs just by looking at them. You know how many people, I've got people who have gone way far advanced than me in that field, that they always guess with 100% strike rate. Yeah. So the book to get is the book that I have on my website, guys. This is a friend of mine, William Schreiber. William Schreiber has the book Dance of the Zodiac. So click here and purchase this book. You'll be supporting one of the most beautiful human beings. I met him in Oregon together with Judith Hill, two of my favourite astrologers. One day we met in Portland, Oregon, and had a hangout there. I've got a picture of me with them, and Bill is, he's a superstar. The way he shows in this book how you can tell. In fact, we're gonna do that. This is what we're going to be doing in the training. So you'll be getting all this in your training. So this is only one aspect of the training, and what you've learned here is the basis of how to teach syncretism, the wave. In the wave is the secret of creation. So we'll leave it at that, and This will be weekly, guys. This is episode 1 or lesson 1. I think we'll do 12 in basic, then we'll go to advanced and then super advanced.
Okay.
Thank you. Turn it off.